Yes. Yes. What can I do for you? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Corey if you've never been here before, but if you have, then welcome back to my world. Ooh, I smell really bad. Today, I just wanted to get kind of raw and real with you guys because I feel like a lot of my content in the past long time has been very curated, very planned out, edited to a T, and right now my life is anything but normal. There's a couple points that I really wanted to hit in this video. I really want to talk about where my mental health has been at. As a lot of you may already know, we lost a really, really important part of our family in August. And it was heart-wrenching. I'm still a little bit fucked up over it, not gonna lie. We lost our cat, Peach. I had her for 7, 8 years, I want to say. She was an old cat when I got her. She was an even older cat when we lost her. She's always had a breathing issue, and ultimately it was what took her life, was her breathing issues. They found a lump in her left lung. We paid a lot of money for a fancy scan of her lungs, and ultimately there was nothing we could do about it. Her health deteriorated quickly over the course of a week. She was on antibiotics the entire time, but nothing was helping. Okay. There is no guarantee, but there is a very, very, very good chance that it was a lung cancer or a lung tumor, some sort of growth in there that made her not able to breathe anymore. It was about 1 in the morning when I realized that she hadn't stopped wheezing for far beyond an hour. I had been awake and asleep and awake and asleep, trying to push all thoughts out of my mind. The entire week she would eventually catch her breath, but that night she didn't. We took her to emergency vet, and that was the last time that we would see her. There was a definite choice from the vet telling us that the only option we really had for Peach at that time was euthanasia, as to make her death a lot easier. Regardless of if we did euthanize her or not, she was going to leave us in the next 48 hours, and it was our choice whether it was going to be a nice passing with comfort or a really hideous suffocation. So we chose the best method that we could for her. That sent me spiraling for weeks. Weeks. I was eating horrendously. I would go 48 hours without eating anything to a complete binge once I finally got an appetite back. And that cycled for quite a few weeks. I was barely leaving my bed, my couch. Grief is wild. Grief is torturous. It feels like it will never end. The first week was terrible. My intrusive thoughts were running amok. My inner dialogue was terrifying. It was like a war zone inside my own mind. I didn't really want to keep going. I didn't want to continue without her here. It's still hard to be in this household alone. Anytime there's no one here, I can feel the pain lingering. This house holds a lot of memories of her, so it's been really hard to just feel comfortable in my own house, which is exhausting. Another situation that's sent me barreling through the depths of my mind is something of a skeleton in my closet, I guess you could say. This is something I don't talk about frequently online. It's not something that I've really brought up with anyone that's outside my inner circle. People in my hometown are aware, classmates, old acquaintances, old friends. My whole family is aware of this, but it's not something I really like to broadcast. It's not something that I feel is mine, is my story to really tell, but here I am. The last couple weeks have been extremely burdening, stressful, hard to live through. It's just been a whirlwind, as my father is extremely mentally unwell currently, and has been for about, I'm going to say, upwards of 10 years. Many times when we would go to visit him in his home, we would come home crying because of these rants that he would go on that just scared the ever-living shit out of us. It made us feel so uncomfortable and so alarmed and scared for him, but there was never really anything that we could do for him. We tried so many resources, but being underage, they don't really give you a lot of help in the mental health industry. And even now, we're finding that the mental health industry is very hard to navigate, especially if you're doing it for another person. If you're trying to get somebody help who doesn't want help, it's extremely taxing. Past week was the first official snowfall in my region. It's gotten very, very, very cold, and my father has been living without heat or power for the better part of this year. During the summer, it's not something that we really worry about. Why would you? It's plus 40 degrees, plus 30 degrees, plus 25 degrees all summer, and it's not something that really matters. He makes it work for the most part, but this snow coming down and the temperatures dropping below zero into the freezing area, well, do I even need to say how alarming that is? When it's your flesh and blood potentially freezing to death in his own home? It's just daunting, it's taxing, it's exhausting, and just thinking about it drives us to a state of sheer worry and panic, and it's so much to carry on your shoulders, because your parents are supposed to be the people that help you, and your parents are supposed to give you some form of guidance. But as far as my sisters and I go, we haven't had a lot of that in the past 10 years. There's been a lot of stress related to my dad. Caught a glimmer of hope this past week when I finally, after 3 days, got the nerve up to post a GoFundMe link to my Facebook and Instagram. And it just, oh man, blew our minds, blew our freaking minds. The generosity from friends and family and coworkers and colleagues and people, just wow. Oh wow. I was asking for pocket change. I was asking for coffee money, like $5, $10, nothing. And people are throwing much larger bills our way through this GoFundMe page. And it brought us some sort of relief before we delve into this world of unbelievable stress. Due to the help of our friends and family, and even just strangers online who have followed me for a while, we're able to put his power back on and his electricity. If there's any advice I can give to anyone else, is that you don't know what's out there. You don't know the kind of help that is there unless you ask for it. So pulling the trigger on posting that GoFundMe page was like life-changing. It was so that's one glimmer of hope in the next couple months worth of work that we need to put in. My father is very, very in denial of everything, of his own mental health being in the red, being not so great. He thinks everything's fine. He doesn't want help. He's refused all the help we've given him, and so that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at currently. That's why I'm not posting content for you guys. I have no creativity. I have no drive at all to do anything for myself. I don't have the positivity to give to you guys right now. I keep promising all these grand things to come, and I can't even get out of bed myself right now. Setting up this camera to film has been daunting, so that's where I'm at. Just know that eventually I'll get through this, but I feel very stuck and scared. And all of this has just helped to contribute to an even worse mental health for myself. Something that I've worked tirelessly through the year in bettering. I was doing so fantastic. Oh my goodness, it drives me crazy to think that I've gone from such an uphill progress into this screeching halt. And I mean screeching. Everything has changed. All of the positive changes that I made in my life this past year have just gone out the window, and I'm just barely hanging on. But I do have a fantastic support system here at home and online. Anytime I reach out for help, there's smiling faces and comfort. So, I'll be okay. It's just been really hard. Thank you guys so much for watching, tuning in, digesting what I've been going through, and for understanding why I'm not currently very active on platforms that take so much energy to create on. Oh, it's my favorite month. There's so much I wish I could contribute to my favorite holiday, my favorite season, but here I am. Just existing.